The following lecture is given by Shriman Kratsudas Adhikari on Srimad Bhagavatam's Canto 3, Chapter 25, verse number 21, on the topic Mercy of a Sadhu, given in Denver, Colorado.
Granth Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 25, Text 21. Please memorize this verse, very important verse. You will need this throughout your life. Titiksava karunaika sruda sarvadehina ajat satrava santa sadava sadhubhushana. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Dwara. Thank you. So translation, everybody will memorize right now, at least a translation, very important. The symptoms of a sadhu are that he is tolerant, merciful, and friendly to all living entities. He has no enemies, he is peaceful, he abides by the scriptures, and all his characteristics are sublime. Purport by His Divine Grace. A sadhu, as described above, is a devotee of the Lord. His concern, therefore, is to enlighten a people in devotional service to the Lord. That is his mercy. He knows that without devotional service to the Lord, human life is spoiled. A devotee travels all over the country from door to door preaching. Be Krishna conscious. Be a devotee of Lord Krishna. Don't spoil your life in simply fulfilling your animal propensities. Human life is meant for self-realization or Krishna consciousness. These are the preachings of a sadhu. He is not satisfied with his own liberation. He always thinks about others. He is the most compassionate personality towards all the fallen souls. One of his qualifications, therefore, is Karunaika, great mercy to the fallen souls. While engaged in preaching work, he has to meet with so many opposing elements, and therefore the sadhu or devotee of the Lord has to be very tolerant. Someone may ill-treat him because the conditioned souls are not prepared to receive the transcendental knowledge of devotional service. They do not like it. That is their disease. The sadhu has the thankless task of impressing upon them the importance of devotional service. Sometimes devotees are personally attacked with violence. Lord Jesus Christ was crucified. Haridas Thakur was caned in 22 marketplaces. And Lord Chaitanya's principal assistant, Nityananda, was violently attacked by Jagai and Madhai. But still, they were tolerant because their mission was to deliver the fallen souls. One of the qualifications of a sadhu is that he is very tolerant and merciful to fallen conditioned souls. He is merciful because he is the well-wisher of all living entities. He is not only a well-wisher of human society, but a well-wisher of animal society as well. It is said here, Sarvadehinam, which indicates all living entities who have accepted material bodies. Not only does the human being have a material body, but other living entities such as cats and dogs also have material bodies. The devotees of the Lord is merciful to everyone, the cats, dogs, trees, etc. He treats all living entities in such a way that they can ultimately get salvation from this material entanglement. Sivananda Sen, one of the disciples of Lord Chaitanya, gave liberation to a dog by treating the dog transcendently. There are many instances where a dog got salvation by association with a sadhu. Because a sadhu engages in the highest philanthropic activities for the benediction of all living entities. Yet, although a sadhu is not inimical towards anyone, the world is so ungrateful that even a sadhu has many enemies. What is the difference between an enemy and a friend? It is a difference in behavior. A sadhu behaves with all conditioned souls for their ultimate relief from the material entanglement. Therefore, no one can be more friendly than a sadhu in relieving a conditioned soul. A sadhu is calm and he quickly and peacefully follows the principles of scriptures. A sadhu means one who follows the principles of scriptures and at the same time is a devotee of the Lord. One who actually follows the principles of scriptures must be a devotee of God because all the Shastras instruct us to obey the orders of the personalities of Godhead. Sadhu, therefore, means a follower of the scriptural injunctions and a devotee of the Lord. All these characteristics are prominent in a devotee. A devotee develops all the good qualities of the demigods, whereas non-devotee, even though academically qualified, has no actually good qualifications or good characteristics according to the standard of transcendental realization. So Prabhupada, in his purport, even to the previous verse, is talking about sadhus. And who is a sadhu? Previous purport. His previous purport, here it is recommended that attachment should be transferred to the self-realized devotees, the sadhus. And who is a sadhu? A sadhu is not just an ordinary man with a saffron robe or long beard. A sadhu is described in Bhagavad Gita as one who unflinchingly engages in devotional service. Even though one is found not to be following the strict rules and regulations of devotional service, if one simply has unflinching faith in Krishna, the Supreme Person, he is understood to be a sadhu. Sadhu eva samantavya. This is sadhu. Krishna is defining sadhu in Bhagavad Gita, 9th chapter. Apichet suduracharo bhajate mam ananya bhak sadhu eva samantavya samyak vyavasito isaha kshipram bhavati dharmatma sasvat santim nigacchati kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. So Krishna is defining sadhu as one who has unflinching faith in Krishna. Apichet suduracharo bhajate mam ananya bhak. One who worships Krishna ananya bhak, one without second. Krishna is the only one who is object of my worship. So this one quality has to be there. Then rest of the qualities are called subsidiary qualities. Principal quality is that he has to be a devotee of Krishna. And what kind of devotee? Unalloyed. Ananya bhak. Anya bhak. That he is Lord and Master, only one, that is Krishna. He has no other Lord and Master than Krishna. Anya. This Ananya word is used by Krishna in this Bhagavad Gita many times. Ananya. Yomam cha vyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samayite etan brahma bhuyaya kalpe. Avyabhicharena, Ananya Bhag. Same, Ananya Bhag. So Ananya, Bhakti of Krishna. Only Krishna. No other than Krishna. We have so many other objects of worship. Country, society, friends, parents, demigods. But we don't have to divert our attention. If we worship Krishna and if we become dedicated, devoted to Krishna, then automatically we will be devoted to His creation, not just human beings, birds, beasts, the whole creation. But we have to start with Krishna. Yatha taror mula nishechanena tusyanti tadaskanda bhujopashakha pranopcharene thendriyanam tataiva sarvair hanamachyutejya. Yatha taro mula nishechanena. If we pour water in the root of a tree, the whole tree is satisfied, including flowers, fruits, leaves, trunks, branches. Whole tree is satisfied. But we individually sprinkle water and give water to fruits and flowers and trunks and branches. The whole tree will not get satisfied. Similarly, Krishna is Sarva Karana Karanam, cause of all causes, cause of all creation, material and spiritual, is Krishna, root cause is Krishna. So if we serve Krishna, automatically we serve everything connected with Krishna. And everything is connected with Krishna. Ishavashyam idam sarvam. Everything is connected with Krishna. So we automatically love Krishna and love creation. And just like if we want to satisfy the limbs of body, ears, hands, legs, all limbs of the body, pranapcharane thendriyana, we put food into the stomach. Automatically whole body, all limbs of the body is satisfied. But if we put laddu in a hand, laddu on ears, laddu on head, and laddu's food on legs, none of the organ will be satisfied. But pranapchana thendriyana, if you put that food into stomach, then that's the intelligence. Whole body gets satisfied. So very definition of sadhu is that he has to be devoted to Krishna. Pichet suduracharu, bhajate mamananya bhag. Krishna. Mayavadis, they follow so many strict rules and regulations. No woman, no wine, not looking at a woman, not talking to woman, not seeing woman, not touching clothes of a woman, not looking at the clothes of a woman. So much strict and no bank balance of any kind. Strict rule and regulation. But they are not attached to Krishna. Mayavadis, they attach to Maya in subtle form, even though they reject Maya. That's why they are called Mayavad. Our is Krishnavad, and there is Mayavad. So this is the first and foremost qualification of a devotee, of a sadhu, that he must be 100% devoted to Krishna and only Krishna and no one else. Ananya Bhag. So that's why Prabhupada said long beard and matted hair and saffron clothes doesn't make one sadhu. Sadhu means he has to be devoted to Krishna. He must be devotee of Krishna. That is sadhu. First and foremost qualification. And that he must worship Krishna. Not just sadhu means he must take Vaishnavi Diksha. He must. And sadhu means he must chant Vishnu, Krishna's mantra. He must chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. That is sadhu. Sadhu's definition in the scripture is that he must take Vaishnavi Diksha and that he must chant Vaishnava mantra. Vishnu, Lord Krishna's mantra. That is sadhu. Otherwise he's Mayavadi, Soham, Aham Brahmasmi, and so many other mantras, unlimited mantras. Mantras for all demigods, including Surya. Gayatri mantra is for Surya Dev. We chant, but we are praying to Surya Dev. Please help me in meditating on Krishna. We are seeking Savitur Varnyam, sun gods, help. So this is sadhu. Sadhu doesn't mean matted hair, saffron clothes, and so many things. Sadhu means he has to be unalloyed, transcendental devotee of Krishna and only Krishna. So that's a sadhu. Prabhupada further says, previous sloka, purport, whole. He says, Mahatma is a symptom of sadhu. It is said that service to the Mahatma or the elevated devotee of the Lord is Dvaram Ahur Vimukte. So, Dvaram Ahur Vimukte. Tamo Dvaram Yositi Sangi Sangam. So, when we serve pure Vaishnava devotee of the Lord called sadhu, then our moksha dvar is wide open, our liberation is wide open. It is a fringe benefit of sadhus. Sadhu doesn't hanker for liberation, but it's automatically comes. Siddhis and muktis, they follow the sadhu. My dear sir, how can I serve you? Mukulitam, with folded hand. Virumangal Thakur says, Suradas says, with folded hand, this mukti and siddhis, they stand in front of devotees' door, praying, how can I serve you, my dear Lord? So, ahur vimukte, tamodvaram, yositam, sangi sangam. So many sadhus we find in spiritual tirthas, Varanasi and Vrindavan and so many. They are in a garb of a sadhu, looking for other sadhvi. They both sadhvi and sadhus looking for each other, sense gratification, and cheating common people. So this is very common throughout ages, very common, pretending sadhus. And that destroys the faith of neophytes. This kind of sadhus destroy the faith. Looks like very, very elevated personality, Mahatma, sadhu. But they are called like Baga, Bagala. Baga means Baki and Bakasur. Baka. Baka, they have a long neck and long feet, and they stand in the water looking for the fish. And as soon as they see the fish, this is their, looks like good meditation. Baka is doing good. These Baka in English will be swan kind of bird, whatever you call. You have a word for it? No. Huh? Cranes, okay. Cranes. Looks like sadhu, crane, meditating. So much intense meditation. But meditation on who? That is important. They meditate on impersonal aspect. They meditate on Paramatma aspect. They meditate on sense gratification. They meditate on the ways to gratify senses. It looks like sadhus in garb of saffron. No, Prabhupada's laying down here. Krishna is also laying down here. The first and foremost quality of sadhu is that he must be pure devotee of Krishna and only Krishna and none other than Krishna, and automatically when he is devoted, then automatically he is devoted to others. This is a first and foremost quality of a sadhu. Mahatmanastu mam partha Daivim prakriti masrit. Bhajanti ananya manasho. Gyatva mam bhutadim avyayam. Now this is Mahatma, sadhu. Sadhu is Mahatma. Mahatmanastu mam partha. Mam, Krishna, partha. Mahatmanastu mam partha. Daivim prakriti marsata. They are always associated with Daivi Prakriti, divine nature, transcendental Yoga Maya. They are always associated with Yoga Maya. Yoga Maya means that Maya, that Daivi Shakti, that energy of Krishna which takes living entity closer to Krishna, closer to Krishna. So Mahatmas are in divine energy, Yoga Maya. Yoga Maya takes Mahatma towards Krishna. This is a characteristic of Mahatma. Sadhu. What is a sadhu? Mahatmanastu mam partha daivim prakriti masrita. Bhajanti anya manasho. Undivided mind. Ananya manasho. Gyatva mam bhutadi mavya. That I am the Adi. Bhutadi. Bhutadi is the name of Krishna. I am the Adi. Ahami Adi Bhutanam. He is Adi of whole creation. Gyatva mam bhutadimavyayam. Undoubtedly. Krishna. So this is sadhu. Sadhu is Ananya Bhag, worshipping Krishna. Then there are so many qualities of sadhu. And next to this principal quality, Ananya Bhakta quality of Krishna, is Santa. If you go into all qualities of a sadhu, we will find this word Santa in all places, in all slokas. Very important quality of sadhu. He is very, very, very peaceful. Very peaceful. Santa. Very peaceful. Nothing can disturb him. Nothing can buzz him. Disturbance means somebody curb our sense gratification. Somebody curb our sense gratification, false ego. Somebody touch our false ego. Then asanta. One becomes asant. One becomes disturbed. So sadhu has nothing to gain and nothing to lose. Sadhu has nothing to gain except Krishna's transcendental loving devotional service, which culminates into love. And love culminates into preaching activity, distributing books. If love is overfloods our heart, Krishna's love overfloods our heart, then that overflooded heart, overflooded love transforms into, so that is sadhu. And that's why Prabhupada says, a sadhu, he goes around the world and preaches the gospel of Krishna consciousness. He preaches about Krishna. He doesn't become satisfied with his own Krishna consciousness. He wants to give out. He wants to reach out by distributing books. He wants to reach out. So this sadhu. The sadhu has to be very, very peaceful. If somebody is agitated mind, if somebody has agitated mind every moment, he cannot become sadhu. Sadhu means peaceful. Nothing can budge him. Nothing can disturb him. That is sadhu. So, Santaha, in this verse also, the word Santaha described. Sadhu is very peaceful because there is nothing to be lost, he has nothing to lose and nothing to gain. Brahma Bhutta Prasannatma na sochati na kankshati sama sarveshu bhuteshu mada bhakti labhati param. Para bhakti, mada bhakti, Krishna's bhakti. No other bhakti than Krishna's. Mada bhakti labhati param. This is a qualification of a sadhu, that he is no hankering, no lamentation. Brahma Bhutta Prasanna Atma. He becomes Prasanna Atma. Prasanna Atma means his bliss ever increases. His bliss never decreases. This is called spiritual ananda, spiritual bliss. Material bliss decreases, stays for very little amount of time, material bliss. And then it decreases drastically. And for this small little bliss, material bliss, you have to work whole life very hard. That is material bliss, flickering bliss. Work so hard, stays for very little amount of time and decreases drastically. That's material bliss. But spiritual bliss, anandam buddhivardhanam pratipadam purnamrit swadanam. Anand ambudhi. The ocean of bliss increases forever and never decrease. Stay high forever and never come down. Rock, mantra rock. Stay high forever and never come down. That's spiritual bliss. Prasannatma, na sochati, na kankshati, no hankering, no lamentation. So this is sadhu. This is sadhu. Nothing to gain and nothing to lose. This is sadhu. Brahma Bhuta, Brahma. Sadhu has to be in a Brahman stage. Buddhaya Visuddhaya Yukto Dhrutyatmanam Niyamascha Sabdadi Vishaya Tyaktva Ragadvesha Vidusyacha Vivikta Sevi Laguvasi Yat Vakkaya Manasa Vivikta Sevi Laguvasi Yat Vakkaya Manasa Ahankaram Balam Darpam Kamam Krodam Parigraham Vimachya Nirmama Santo Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate. This is Brahma. This is devotees' transcendental qualities. Buddhaya Visuddhaya Yukto. Buddhi, clarified, very crystal clear intelligence. Buddhaya Visuddhaya Yukto. Dhrutyatmanam niyamyacha. Dhrutyatma, self-control, niyamyacha, etc. This whole sloka previous to this Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma. Who is Brahma? Brahman realized personality. Who is devotee? Devotee's definition indirectly. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na sochati, na kankshati. Samasarvesu bhutesu mada bhakti. Krishna's bhakti. Labhati Brahma. He is engaged in Krishna. Bhakti around the clock. This is sadhu. This is Brahma realized on Brahman platform. This is what it means to be on spiritual platform. Spiritual platform, intellectual platform, mental platform, sensual platform. So all this platform we have to surpass and go to the spiritual platform and remain there forever. Sthita pragna kabhasa. Sthita pragna. He becomes Sthita pragna. He remains on the platform of Krishna consciousness. Ever, never comes down from that platform. That is sadhu. This is sadhu. So Santa is very peaceful, blissful, happy. It's art. It's a very beautiful art to remain peaceful, blissful forever. It's art. We have to practice that art. Titikshva, very tolerant. So Titikshva, Karunaika, Srit Sarvadeinam, Ajata Satrava Santa, Sadhava Sadhubhushanam. Titikshva, most tolerant. The example given by Prabhupada in purport. Jesus Christ, even though he was crucified, in the head and in the hand, nails big, tolerant. How can one become tolerant when somebody is hitting you in the head with a nail and a hammer? Impossible. Just little blow is good enough to make us disturb. And here he is crucified. Hands are one on leg, two on hands, and one on head. And here you go, my dear sir. You want to preach gospel of Krishna consciousness? And there were his disciples on top. And Titikshva, my dear Lord, these people are innocent. They don't know what they are doing. Please forgive them. This is Titikshva. This is the uppermost limit of tolerance. Uppermost limit. We can even tolerate a little bit. We can't. Little heat or cold or what to talk about any another insult or no food or no clothing or no house or no children or marriage or this. We become disturbed. No tolerance, no patience. Haridas Thakur is another example of tolerance. Titikshva. He was beaten up in 22 different marketplaces with a cord, with the hunter, with the what is the word here used? He used some word here, Prabhupada. Cane. Okay, cane. He was beaten up. And Haridas Thakur, at the end he pretended that if I don't die, then king will kill these soldiers because they didn't able to kill me. So he pretended as if he's dead, so that who was beating him can be saved. This is upper limit, topmost limit of tolerance. And Nityananda, even though he was hit by pot, bleeding, and Lord Chaitanya is saying, my dear Lord, your incarnation is not to kill them, but to kill their demoniac quality. Please forgive them. Please forgive them. That is upper limit of tolerance. We can tolerate little bit. This is Titikshva Karuna. Karuna means compassion. Compassion, the topmost compassion means to give them Krishna, the topmost commodity that living entity is looking for, but they don't know what they are looking for. This is compassion. Preaching means compassion. Book distribution means compassion. If you are not compassionate, you cannot distribute book. Titikshva, Karuna. And Krishna is the most Karuna. The topmost two quality of Krishna, out of unlimited quality he has, is Rasik Shekhar Krishna Param Karun, Chaitanya Charitamrita. Rasik Shekhar, Krishna is the enjoyer of transcendental mellows. Rasik, especially Madhur, in Vipralamba. Madhur Rash. He is the enjoyer, he is topmost enjoyer, Krishna. And that is Param Karun. And another topmost quality of Krishna is that he is very compassionate towards living entity because they are part and parcel of him. He cannot see them